Good morning. This is Cecil and Blues. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Indie Inbox. Today I'm looking at Renowned Explorers, a new strategy roguelike from Abbey Games, makers of the hard-to-pronounce casual god game, Reus. I have about 10 hours in Renowned Explorers according to Steam, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. There is a simple elegance to the presentation and a deep level of customization and freedom of choice that makes Renowned Explorers really shine. As mentioned, this is a roguelike game, so by default, there is only one save file, and it's overwritten when you start a new game, and it is deleted when you fail. But there are options built in that let you kind of dodge the permadeath bullet if that's not really your thing. Primarily, you have a choice between Discovery Mode or the more traditional Adventure Mode. Once you've decided what type of experience you'd like to have, you get to build your crew. Renowned Explorers features a 3-person crew, and it's a permanent choice. There is no risk of losing an individual member of your small crew to a hazard, and no option to recruit additional members in the middle of a playthrough. Think of your 3-person team as your ship in FTL. It's all or nothing. There are 20 characters to choose from in Renowned Explorers, separated into 4 classes, each with a unique distribution of the 7 stats and possessing 2 starting perks from any of the game's 10 areas of expertise. These disciplines are important for overcoming challenges of different types that you'll be presented with over the course of your journey. It's a good idea to diversify, but the choice is yours to make. Each character also has its own upgrade path, with exclusive choices to make at each level, allowing you to continue to customize your crew as the adventure progresses. When you first play Renowned Explorers, only 4 crew members are capable of being captain, 1 from each character type. But over the course of play, you'll be able to unlock the ability for all 20 crew members to wear the captain's hat. And everyone has their own unique captain's perk. These are mostly bonuses to resource gains under certain conditions, which will suit specific playstyles better than others. Each captain also comes with a crew recommendation, but it's your choice to make. You can go all fighters or all scientists, you can go all tanks, or you can go all glass cannons. For this demonstration, I'm going to go with a recommended crew and one I haven't played with before. Yvonne Lafleur, Kiwi Pakariki, and Agatha von Brunswick. An evil Canadian, a Samoan thief, and a German scientist. What could possibly go wrong? You'll be dropped onto one of the starting 1-star maps with a reduced supply and a limited resolve. Much like other roguelike games, this first map is smaller and easier than the challenge ahead, so it's best to mine it for all its resources. As we do so, we'll need to keep an eye on our supplies. If that hits 0, our crew will start collecting terrible debuffs applied at random each time we move to a new dot. Our goal is to reach the location marked with the North Star icon, though the pathway is shrouded in fog. If we do it correctly, we'll use the last of our supplies just as we get there. Supplies will be refilled at the start of the next map, so we want to use absolutely everything we can here. Our resolve is the most important resource. As we complete expeditions, we'll earn more, but any losses we suffer are permanent. Resolve can be lost by failing skill checks on the adventure wheel, in some cases, or by having a crew member fall in combat, in all cases. If resolve ever hits 0, then it's game over. The maps are randomly generated, but they're generated from a set of encounters specific to that location. So let's start exploring. Alright, as I mentioned, these are randomly generated maps, so I'm not really going to have a script to be working from here. We're just going to explain it as we go along. Our primary goal is to earn resources. There is gold, status, research, and insight. And we'll be able to spend those later on in the game to improve our crew. So both of these have possible resources for us. Let's go ahead and explore here, get some of the status. Two villagers keep following you and annoying you with well-intentioned questions. Wow! You come from all over the world? Wow! You've been to London? Wow! You like Brussels sprouts? Wow! These friendly gentlemen need to be convinced to stop following you. Alright, so this is an encounter. This is going to take us into the tactical map of the game. And this is kind of the other layer, the tactical layer. Yeah, these strategic roguelikes usually have a tactical layer and a strategic layer. This is the tactical layer. And what's interesting in Renowned Explorers is this kind of idea of moods and multiple solution paths. As you can see, we have a friendly, devious, and aggressive possible playstyle. And we're going to get specific rewards for completing this as a friendly or devious. But if we use aggression to solve this issue, we're not going to be rewarded with any bonuses. So let's go ahead and start the encounter. It looks like we have a couple of villagers to deal with. They are considered friendly, shown up here in the upper right. And just to the right of that, it shows kind of the emotion wheel, as it were. This is like, it's kind of, I've been calling it rock, paper, hugs. They have strengths, like if friendly is strong against devious, devious is strong against aggression, aggression is strong against friendly. And depending on what stance we take, what type of abilities we use, it's going to change the mood of the battlefield, and that's going to create different bonuses and negative effects that will affect our team. I don't think they affect the opposing team. I just noticed there's a third guy over here to the left. Alright, so every individual person starts with one aggressive, one devious, and one friendly attack. Friendly attacks can be targeted on your own party members to heal them, but they can also be used to target enemies to do damage to them. So if we wanted to solve this in a friendly manner, we can use our captain here, who has a impress ability, and you'll notice they all have emotions attached to them. This will trigger impressed on anyone who it affects, giving them a negative to their speech defense, which is how you defend against devious and friendly abilities. So if we come up here, this is a 2-range ability, so we're going to use it and we're going to target the guy in the back. Looks like it's not going to totally reduce his hit points, or what they refer to as spirit, but it will debuff him with impress. So let's go ahead and do that. And you get treated to these nice little animations. I love them. And then that changes the mood to pleasant. Now physical attacks have a 50% increased attack power. We're going to go ahead and head up this way with the scientist here. And before we do anything with her, we're going to reposition our fighter. Now, over here to the left of the mood, it shows how many actions it will take to shift the mood. So if we do an aggressive action, just one of them, it's going to shift the mood. We would have to do 3 devious actions in order to shift the mood. So let's go ahead and use a devious action from Agatha here. And we're going to use it on this front guy. Again, this isn't going to quite finish him off, but it gives him a debuff. And this debuff is terrorized. And this will give them a negative 25% to their attack. So let's go ahead and do that. And she's a teacher, so I guess she's giving him a bad grade. I love just the little touches of flavor of these. And as you can see, we've gotten a mostly friendly attitude, but our devious bar is growing a little bit. And I'm going to trigger an aggressive shift here against this guy. Now, I'm kind of surprised this isn't going to finish him off with our increased physical attack, but I guess he's probably less vulnerable to aggressive attacks because he's friendly. No, we should be stronger against it. Well, I don't know why that helped. Alright, so now we've become brutal. And it says, you are the killer. Now we have a bonus to our speech defense because we're kind of aggressing these weaker people. Alright, let's end our turn. We only get one action, one movement, and one action. If you take an action, you no longer can move. So it's a kind of, once you take your action, you're done. Alright, they're giving us some friendly attacks here, which leaves them in the friendly state. And it looks like one of their attacks missed. And now we'll be able to easily finish them off. I'm going to go ahead and use friendly attacks to do that, to keep our mood as friendly, to get that bonus. As you can see, when you defeat someone as friendly, they run off and they leave the battlefield like that. And then we'll finish him off. Oh, I guess she gave him an A+, and now he's all happy. Now, you can see this isn't adjusting our stance because we are still in the aggressive stance. It takes a lot of friendly actions to get out of aggressive. So we may still finish this encounter as an aggressor. Nope, there we go. We shifted it to friendly, and we get a friendly victory. And as a result, we receive a friendly expedition bonus. Gives us a +5 speech defense and a +2 speech power for the remainder of the adventure. In a kind but firm manner, you explain to them that you have to leave now. Once Yvonne gives them some foreign candy, they thank you wholeheartedly and go away. The crew proceeds with their expedition, and then this tells us kind of what our rewards are, which we get 2 campaign tokens. And the campaign tokens will give us those rewards. We also got some encounter tokens, those were our bonuses, and that gives those rewards. And so the tokens lead to the resources. And there are, I think, one token for each of these resources, and then there's like an advanced token. And if we're lucky, we might run into that. I'm going to jump down here because they've got an extra thing here. Something odd here. I guess I mentioned that we were trying to get to this North Star icon, but I guess that's not it. There's not a specific icon. It just shows you where this is at the start. We're trying to get this Viking longboat. It's the head of this mission. Alright. We enter a shop that sells supplies for some work. However, this guy seems to be one shady shopkeep. It says we can buy 4 supplies for 7 resolve, which obviously we can't do because we only have 2 resolve. These prices are outrageous. Negotiate for better terms, or we can leave the shop. Let's go ahead and negotiate. Someone needs to go negotiate for better terms. This is simply unacceptable. The guy seems like a tough match, and the diplomatic struggle will give someone the diplomat negotiations perk. Who will go and negotiate? Alright. So, someone will learn a new perk here, and I don't remember what perks I had. It's probably a good idea to kind of note what perks your characters have, although it should tell you here. I'm pretty sure that Yvonne is a diplomat of some sort. She's definitely my speech person, so I want her to learn new diplomat skills, because they will increase her speech power. So we're going to go ahead and send Yvonne in here. If she already knew this speech in particular, or this skill in particular, it would tell me that, and I would have to select someone different. The shady shopkeeper gave you your diplomatic negotiations. Now you can get supplies at a normal price. 4 supplies for 1 resolve. With only 2 resolve, I'm not doing that, especially considering that most of the supplies will go to waste. I already have 5, so 1 of them will go to waste. It's just not worth sacrificing half my resolve at this point in the game. I may regret that if I can't reach my destination before I run out of supplies, but we got plenty of time. And hey, look, here's a supplies icon. This unexplored location to the east here should give us a chance to get some supplies. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully they will not charge us. Normally you wouldn't be so excited about this, but you found an abandoned farm. The fields are overgrown with vegetables and even some fruit trees. You take some time to restock your supplies. So that's a lot of supplies just for stopping here. So that's awesome. I'm glad I didn't sacrifice anything. Alright, we're gonna kind of cut back across here to the west, and we're gonna go try and get some extra status. God, the expression on my captain, I would not trust this woman. Your crew stops at an open field. Delicious rare mushrooms are growing here in small troops. These delicacies will go down great at parties or as a gift to other renowned explorers. So we'll gain 2 campaign resources here. No checks, no challenge at all, just, free resources. We'll stop here. And the crew comes across some local Icelandic aldermen. When chit-chatting about the weather, Yvonne mentions a search for the Viking longboat. The aldermen are ecstatic. A Viking ship on our beautiful island? Iceland is so full of surprises. We'll make sure to spread the word. You're welcome. You gain 2 campaign tokens for that. You continue the small talk about the wondrous Icelandic geology and the long summer days. After a while of traveling together, you part ways. The aldermen sure have a liking to you. So, that may come in handy later on in our adventure. We'll see. I'm going to step up here to the left. I'm going to want to come... I'm actually going to come up here to the right. Alright, we've located the turf house. The crew finds some true Viking architecture. A turf house. Due to the lack of wood here, and as it provides better insulation, Vikings built houses covered in earth. This house must hold historic trinkets. You hear a lot of noise coming from it. Enter the house. This big turf house is a clubhouse of the Viking community. Or committee, sorry. A group that tries to preserve Viking history. They're having a good time with each other, but ignore you. Maybe it's because you don't look Viking enough. These guys probably have some interesting trinkets in their possession. Yvonne ponders how we could acquire them best. Now we get to choose which one of our crew members will tackle this challenge. And you can see the percentages down below. Obviously, Yvonne is our highest bet in this case, but let's kind of mouse over them and see why. So Yvonne gets 10% for a base chance. She gets plus 28% because she has speech. That's her actual speech stat. She gets 20% for being a speaker and 20% for being a diplomat. Kiwi, on the other hand, 10% base chance, 28% from speech power, no bonus from speaker, no bonus from diplomat. The same is true for Agatha. So, obviously, this is our best chance. Now, we may run into other challenges here that have different benefits where there are, depending on your class, different benefits may occur. Like, that's what's going on. So, Yvonne is a speaker, and then she also has the diplomat specialty. So that's what makes her best. And when we click on this, it's going to pop up a wheel. And it's going to spin. We have a 78% chance to succeed. And we succeeded. I love this wheel because every time I get nervous, even when it's a 98% chance, it somehow manages to be tense. Alright, a great success. Yvonne is accepted into the Viking committee. You learn a lot about Vikings as well. When the time is right, Yvonne explains your cause and asks if the committee has some treasures for you. The chairman responds, "Of course, you're one of our Viking friends. What are you looking for? I'll try and find the best I can give." And we can choose something like a runestone, something typically Viking, some distant loot plundered by the Vikings, something that shows us the Vikings had fun. And it doesn't really tell me what's going to happen when I click on these. I'm going to go ahead and click on something that shows us the Vikings had fun. The chairman responds, "Got it. I'll go through the Viking collection and see if we've got something for you." He leaves for a few minutes and returns with something. "This is the best I could find. I hope it helps." And then it shows us, what our chances are here. There's a 30% chance that we will receive a green runestone, a 30% chance we will receive a dragon head, a 10% chance we will receive a Celtic horned helmet, and a 30% chance we will gain the treasure Viking's Drinking Horn. I'm not positive, but I think depending on which one of the options you chose earlier affects your random chance here, where, if we had chosen something like a runestone, maybe we'd have a higher chance now of getting the runestone. But I'm not certain. I haven't, closely monitored these in past. And there's no wheel, no roll. Alright, we got the green runestone. It gives us 25 renown, which is a new resource they haven't discussed yet. They'll get to that a little bit later. And it gives us 1 insight, which will become important later. Also, we get some campaign and some study. And we can take it, and there it all goes up into our bar. That is a good find, a fine treasure to take home. You continue to party with the Viking committee a little. Agatha even impresses some of them with party tricks. When the party ends, you can continue exploring. So we gain a couple of campaign tokens for Agatha's impressive party tricks. And now do I want to go this way and look for science, or do I want to go this way and look for some status? I've got a ton of status so far through campaign. I'm going to go and look for some sciencey things. On your way to finding the Viking longboat, the crew comes across a runestone. It's not particularly impressive or well-preserved one, but it's still worth studying. So a couple points of study there. We still got 3 resources, or 3 supplies, so I don't want to go into the unexplored longboat yet. We're going to step up here. There's an encounter. Oh, we're going to fight some sheep. Awesome. Some cuddly sheep are fond of the crew and keep surrounding you. It makes it hard to move, and you have to do something. Engage. Alright, so we get bonuses if we have a friendly resolve to this conflict. We also get a bonus if we do devious. The reason we get a bonus, by the way, for devious is that that's our captain's bonus. She's a devious captain. Alright, so what's our game plan here? I mean, look, I can go over here and I can kill me a sheep, which makes me a pretty terrible human being. And that makes us the brutal folks and stuff. And my other option is to go after the campaign resource here by being devious towards these sheep. So, you know, I can insult this sheep and I can make it sad. I guess by telling it about wolves. And then the sheep runs away crying. And we can move Agatha over here. She could terrify a sheep by telling it about its bad grades. Oh. Now that shifts the mood into tyrannizing. You're the bully. Now we get a negative speech defense. So that is not necessarily the best plan. So now these sheep are going to have benefit when they're fighting us. Because I imagine the sheep are not like gonna... Yeah, oh, it fumbled. Didn't matter. So we'll go ahead and use her devious attack to finish this conflict off deviously. And then we get a devious victory, and someone gets a bonus to deviousness, increasing their grit and their speech power. And as you can see, instead of getting a 3rd encounter token, we instead received a bonus campaign token. Scaring away the sheep was easy. Now the crew can continue without the itch of dirty wool all around you. Alright. Up here, it looks like we will have a wits challenge. I don't know if I have any quick thinkers in this particular crew, so... And I've also noticed, failed to notice that my characters have increased in level, so I probably should have done something about that. Sometimes your crew finds opportunities to promote itself shamelessly in the eyes of the locals and gain status. However, say something offensive or make the wrong move and no one will like you. Whose turn is it for social duties? Alright, well again, Yvonne is our best bet here. She's gaining a 10% bonus base chance and a 15% bonus for being a speaker. She has 40% from her Beguiler stat. And I think that's because she has 2 points in Beguiler, so it's probably 20% per. And then she also has an additional 20% bonus for speech power. So, I mean, that's a pretty huge bonus, 85%. If we succeed, locals are impressed. We also get a couple of bonus things, and if we fail, then the locals are offended. We don't really suffer any terrible things. And you notice how different bonuses apply to different characters. We'll get extra study from the scientist, we'll get extra collect from the scout, and we get extra campaign from the speaker. And if we had a fighter with us, they would give us an extra encounter token, I believe. Alright, so, let's do Yvonne. 85% chance. Here we go, here we go. Oh, no, 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 no! Alright, well, I offended the locals. As a result, I get nothing. That's too bad. We have one more move that we can make, so it's time to head back into our unexplored Viking longboat. And we missed like 3 locations on the map, and maybe one more. It looks like there's one more. I tilted my head to the right as though I could look around the window that's on the screen. I think there was one more thing there. So again, we'll never know what was there. There may have been an extra treasure or something, and that's, you know, the sacrifices you have to make. We could have pushed it to explore more of the map, but I don't like getting the negative effects. Also, I again forgot to level up my crew, which I really should have done because the benefits are immediate. Alright, the Viking boat must be nearby. Once you get there, this expedition will come to an end. You can come back to this place when you wish to continue later. Are you ready to go? Now, if we choose come back later, we will have the opportunity to level up our characters, but 2 things will happen. 1, we'll be out of supplies, so we'll suffer a negative effect. 2nd, we will have to walk away from this dot and then walk back to it, which will trigger another supplies gone debuff. So we're going to go onwards. Boats and bullies. The crew searches the hills and dallies. What? Okay. The crew searches the hills and dales thoroughly until you spot it in the distance. An intact Viking boat. This makes no sense, but alright, whatever. The crew rushes towards this amazing find. It will surely skyrocket your reputation at the renowned Explorer Society. Get closer. The crew is stopped by a familiar face, the French explorer Rivelot. Number 1 in the most promising explorers rankings. He laughs. Thank you, amateur. How very lucky you are to find this fine Viking boat just after me. Under Rule 24B of the Explorer Mandate, fellow explorers should help each other out. And I really need this treasure to affirm my number 1 position. Your help will not be forgotten. Well, maybe. Explain that this is your treasure. Rivelot continues. It seems my explanation wasn't clear enough. Maybe my strong friend Tommy can explain the situation better. While I take this vessel. Hey, wait a minute! Before Yvonne can stop Rivelot, his crew fighter Tommy steps forward. Nuh-uh, little explorer. I need to explain to you, something. He's not letting you pass. We must defend ourselves. This will start a 2-star encounter. Once again, we go into the tactical map. Looks like Tommy has got some goons with him. And if we solve this in a friendly manner, he thinks we're weak. Oh, he thinks we're nice. Okay. If we solve this in an aggressive manner, or a devious manner, he's emotionally hurt and he leaves. And if we solve this in an aggressive manner, Tommy is impressed with your skill. So, these have different effects on what will happen in the outcome. If we solve this in an aggressive manner, we get the best result, but it's also the hardest to do because he's an aggressive fighter, so we're fighting him on his terms. So we'll start it, we'll see how this works out. The goal on missions like this is to kill the boss. And you'll notice he's got a fair amount of goons with him, and he's going to keep summoning more. So we want to kind of clear out as many goons as possible, but we want to do so without positioning ourselves in a way that we can deal with the main threat before we get overwhelmed. So it looks like we can one-shot these guys with a regular attack, and we'll do that. Hostile. Devious abilities now have 25% power, so we can use our deviousness here to our great effect. We might even be able to finish off Tommy Gun in one fell swoop. Alright, now he's sad. He was weak against that attack. He's not going to be weak against this, and as it turns out, she can't get close enough. So we'll put her kind of in the back row here. And yeah, she doesn't have... Well, she could do a friendly attack here, and that's going to finish him. So I'm going to go ahead and use that just to clear up the field a little bit. So we're still considered aggressive because that's the mood we're in. So we're going to hit this. Devious abilities have a 25% chance to succeed or do additional damage. Hopefully these guys continue with aggressive attacks, because if they do devious, it could be bad for me. Looks like they're going to focus on my captain. If her hit points become 0, I'll lose a point of resolve, and she will become immobile. Any member of my crew is capable of rezzing another one in the middle of combat, which gives them back most of their health. Like, you don't run the risk of, like, rezzing someone and they just come back with, like, 10% health and then immediately get killed again. They do come back with most of their health. So it's a good idea, even when, you know, you're running low on resolve, to res someone if they drop. But that's not going to be an issue here. We're just going to go ahead and finish this off, I think, because he's weak to sadness, and we got a bonus to our devious power. If we solve this in an aggressive manner, we get a better result, so you know what, maybe I'm going to do that. Let's do aggressive. Alright, he's pretty tough, so we're going to have to swing this pretty hard. Alright, let's hit him. I don't think I can kill him if I stick to pure attacks. I can't even get close enough with Agatha, so we might be able to reach him with that, and it will finish him. I wonder if this will switch to friendly. Let's do it. He's very confused. So we were still considered to be an aggressive victory, even though we defeated him with charm. And as a result, Tommy is impressed with our skill. Tommy is pretty impressed. You're strong. Pretty impressive. But now I have to go. You deserve this treasure map for your victory. Bye. And he leaves to follow Revelo, who has already disappeared with the Viking ship. We got some praise and a treasure map. All your crew members gain attack permanently increased by 1. So, if we had defeated him in a different manner, we would have gotten a different crew bonus. Or no crew bonus at all. You're left with a cryptic treasure map. Its meaning is pretty cryptic. Everyone takes a look. The treasure map is passed around. After investigating it, the crew states that their interpretations of the map. And everyone kind of has their own thing. It points to another Viking antiquity site nearby. It points to a difficult-to-reach area, or a landmark on the map that locals might recognize. So, if we choose this option, it's going to create a diplomatic challenge. If we choose this, it's going to create some sort of science challenge. And this will create a more skill-based challenge. Now, I don't think she's a very good athlete, so I definitely don't want to do that. I'm actually thinking, I'm leaning towards my captain here, because she has 3 different skills in the diplomat tree at this point. Yvonne thinks it's nonsense not to use the knowledge of the locals, and goes smoozing with them. The campaign quickly yields results. Not only is your cause much supported, but by stringing the stories together, you infer the location of the hidden treasure. Fantastic! And we have gained the treasure, the Viking drinking horn, which, as you remember, was one of the options previously. This is a 100-point item, and we also gain extra stuff, and speakers gain +2 speech. Fantastic. With this last find, your expedition still concludes on a high note. However, it's clear that if you want to be the most renowned explorer, you'll need to beat Revelo. Now it's personal. And we head back to London. Highlands get marked as explored, and it shows us our full rewards here. We are considered to have resolved that mission as friendly because it was our primary goal. And that has benefits. It gives us a reputation of it, and that continues forward. And this is all the resources we gathered, and it's based by, you know, combining all these tokens together and these treasures. We got under 200 renown, which leaves us here down at the bottom, the next lowest person at 500. And we get a little thing, and this is our our quote, we are the dashing diplomat because we have one level in friendly, and depending on how we resolve our missions will result in different titles. A magnificent job. The board of the Renowned Explorers International Society is impressed by your exploration skills in the Highlands. For this achievement, Chairman Pinkerton gives you an upgrade to your airship, which will allow you to carry more supplies. And this is also another icon, gives us another 50 points and 3 extra supplies. Now we can carry 10 supplies, and Pinkerton tells you, we're pleased that you're aiming to become a #1 explorer. However, I wonder if you could beat the already successful Rivelo. We hope that you will uncover many secrets in your endeavors. The Society has many leads as to where secrets may lie in wait. You can do 4 more expeditions before the most renowned explorer is elected, so make them count. Successfully complete expeditions to access new expeditions. Got it. You gather your thoughts and determine your course of action. Spend your research to unlock new technologies. Exchange your insight for other resources in the city. Spend your status to acquire an entourage. Spend your gold in shops. And go on more prestigious expeditions and repeat until you have beaten that French clown, Rivelo. That seems to be all you need to do in the world's most renowned explorer. Time to prepare for your next adventure. Alright. And then it points out a little tutorial window up here if you ever want to go in there and read more. Now, quickly wrap up by going over just the finer details here. As I said, we did level up, and I should have spent that sooner. So I can choose between an extra Beguiler perk or a Rogue perk. I'm going to go ahead and take Beguiler so I can take that up to 3. So anytime I run into a Beguiler challenge, I'm going to pretty much be guaranteed success. As I do that, it gives me the Deride ability, which is a 4th attack, which is a 125% speech attack that causes Enraged. Yeah, it's an increased aggro. She's a tank. So she has more spirit than her compatriots and better armor and stuff. So we'll go ahead and lock that in. Kiwi here, she can either choose an additional survivalist trait, or she can select an archaeologist. I'm going to choose archaeologist to kind of diversify a little bit. And the reason I went with specializing on my captain was she already had a second specialization. So there we go, and her new ability is Loudmouth. It's devious attack. It's weak, but it has an increase of 25% speech per surrounding enemy. And it gives you 30 points of grit. So, yeah, and apparently she's a tank as well. So, interesting combination of characters here. As I said, I hadn't played with them before. Then we can choose between a tactician. Oh, I didn't realize she was an archaeologist. I probably would have gone with a... I probably would have gone specialized on Kiwi then, had I known that, and used my archaeologist to do my archaeology. Alright, so let's give her a tactician skill then. We'll diversify since we already diversified a little. Alright, next, science. There are 6 different trees. We will only have access to 2 of those trees right off the beginning. After we complete another adventure, we will have access to the remaining 4 trees. And depends on what you want to focus on. In preparation, we get additional tools, which give us bonuses on the spinning wheel. You'll also get extra insight. And you get quite a bit more status, or status costs less. You also get field rations, which allow us to explore more. And if you mouse over each one of these, they kind of give you an idea of what they are, and they're going to depend on the type of game you're looking to play. They will kind of support your playstyle depending on what playstyle you have. Choosing your expeditions. Now, as I said, we get to have 4 more expeditions. And right off the bat, we can access the Hungarian fort or the Caribbean island. These are 2-star adventures. After we complete one of these, 2 3-star adventures will open up. After we complete a 3rd adventure, 2 4-star maps will open. And then after we complete our 4th adventure, a final 5-star map will open. So it's possible to complete this game by doing your 1-star map, and then 2 2-star maps, and 2 3-star maps. That's a not particularly risky way to address the game, and as a result, you probably won't earn enough renown in order to beat Rivolo. If you want to beat Rivolo, you're probably going to have to take some risks. So when you decide to upgrade from the 2-star map and jump straight into the 3-star map, and then maybe skip the second 3-star map, jump straight into the 4-star map, and then wrap things up in the 5-star map, that is how you can, like, kind of guarantee a path to victory. But in order to do that, you have to, like, really understand the systems and how to improve your fighters so that they can correctly challenge the systems. And what these different options provide, there are, like, there's 2 different maps to go to here. The Hungarian Fort, it says, hey, there's a lot of status here. A devious crew is probably going to do pretty good. If you go to the Caribbean island here, it says, hey, there's a lot of technical challenges, nature challenges, and you know what? An aggressive crew is probably going to be best suited for this adventure. And those type of advice will continue in the other maps. And depending on how you build your crew and what stats and what specializations you give them, will kind of make them better at some maps than others. And that's the gameplay loop. It works very kind of similar to how FTL works, where you go from sector to sector, trying to improve your ship as best as you can, and then you jump to the next sector, which is harder. Here you get to customize how hard you want the challenge to be. I have not successfully completed a game where I have jumped from 1-star to 2-star straight into 3-star. I've had to always stick with the lower tier maps. And once I get a better understanding of the different stats and how the different characters work together, maybe I'll be able to pull it off. But I have played through all the different maps. They all are very unique. They all feature unique enemies with unique animations, unique sounds. All the different characters have all this personality. It's just so much fun discovering it and seeing what new is out there. And if it's the type of game that you enjoy playing, you're going to love it. It's really, these default systems are really good in there. Before we wrap up the video, I'm going to go ahead and quit to the main menu here real quick. And just look at the settings. You can turn off metrics. So like right now I'm sending anonymous usage statistics. If that's not something that you're comfortable with, whatever, turn it off. You can skip intros, you can turn on quick encounter animations, and you can turn off the border camera panning if you want. You can increase text speed, and then there's a bunch of video options. There's, windowed full screen, windowless full screen, or windowed full screen rather. There's a ton of resolution options. You can turn on VSync if you need it. You can turn on environmental particles or off, and you can change the texture resolution. This is a 2D game for the most part, like the way it's presented, so like I can't imagine having a poor performance, but I guess it could happen. Different audio sliders between music and sound. There's no particular voice slider, but there's no particular voice. Like the characters' voice barks are just kind of sound effects in themselves, so I don't think it really needed that option. Then there's also your treasure room. This is really the only aspect of the game I was a little disappointed in. This is a fine treasure room, don't get me wrong, but what treasures are in it have no effect on its appearance. I would have liked if this entire room was empty, and then as you collected treasures, it started filling up the room, and maybe when you clicked on these things, it zoomed into their actual location in the map as opposed to just bringing these up. Also, I'm a little disappointed that there's no stories with each of these. Like it shows me the high resolution art, and it shows me what benefits they provide statistically, but I would have liked if there was a short story, not like 1,000 words or something, but just a short paragraph to kind of describe it. It would have added a lot of fun flavor to the game. This is the only thing that I'm disappointed in the game, though. It is a thoroughly enjoyable game. I hope that I conveyed that to you over the course of the map I showed you, and I deliberately didn't show you later in the game where things get harder, because I want you to discover that. I want you to go in and kind of fumble your way through it like I did for the first 6 to 7 hours, maybe even 10 hours. As I said, I haven't won the game yet. And I know that once you've completed the game with a captain, it unlocks some sort of New Game Plus. I've seen it in the achievements. I don't particularly know the details of that because I have not experienced it, and the way I produce these videos is it's only things I experience, so I didn't dig out there to find exactly how New Game Plus works, but there is a New Game Plus in there for players who are exceptionally good, who understand these systems in a way that allows them to achieve success quickly. They'll be able to re-tackle the game in a harder manner in some regards. If you know how that works, go ahead and throw it in the comments down there. Explain it to people who may be curious. I apologize that I don't know that off the top of my experience. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, though. I know it kind of went long. It's just the nature of strategy games, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that the game looks great. If it does look like your sort of game, you can check it out on Steam. It's available currently. I believe it is on sale for its opening week sale. I am trying to verify that. It is 25% off, and that will last until September 9th, which is still a couple of days away. It normally is $19.99 US, down to $14.99 during this opening week sale. So, yeah, if it's your thing, check it out. If you liked FTL, if you enjoyed FTL, I think you will really dig Renowned Explorers. It has a very similar gameplay style and loop, even though it is a vastly different theme. That's my take. Again, follow the channel if you want to be notified when new videos go live. I love doing these Indie Inbox videos. I don't do them very often because they don't get me... I don't have success with them. I don't get a lot of views. And as a result, it's hard for me to devote the time to create these videos. So if you enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends, pass it around, and get it some views. I'm not looking for 10,000 views or something. Like, this is a very small channel. I recognize that. But when I get less than 20 views on a video, I'm pretty convinced that people aren't interested. They're not finding it. Obviously, I'm not doing something right there. But if you enjoyed it, and you want to share it around, if I see that these videos start performing at 100 views plus, I will start creating more of them, and I like that. It is my favorite thing to do. I don't want to just be an MMO channel. I don't just want to produce Final Fantasy XIV videos. I would like to keep things diverse and interesting and informed, because there's a whole world of gaming out there, and I love exposing people to it, and just especially great games like this. So thank you again for tuning in. You can follow me on Twitter @itsboats. You can follow the channel, as I previously said, get notified new videos, and check out all my other videos. Really, seriously, it's what helps me get by. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.